Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to everyone. Welcome to IFB Interfleet Broadcasting, sci-fi, pop culture news, and commentary broadcast. It's as if I'm doing it for the first time. I'm New York Pete, and over there is
You're
the
stressed
Tipsy
out.
Toaster.
You're
Or,
stressed
yeah,
out. Your
yeah.
microphone stressed you
There
out.
you go. Yeah, a little bit again, but that's beside the point. But there's the Tipsy Toasters right over there,
Wonder
right
Twin
there, and
Powers. Wait a minute.
yeah,
Yep,
there
we
you
gotta go
go.
down. Wonder Twin
Yep,
Powers.
like, oh,
Activate.
okay,
Hey.
got done.
Form of
Hey, everybody.
the Tipsy
Thanks for
Toaster.
tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. We just got back from New York Comic Con, and we had a slamming time, and
Yeah.
we did a whole bunch of cool stuff, and we were able to get a hold of a whole bunch of really cool people in terms of interviews. And Chris, you're putting them up little by little.
Yeah.
There
Well,
was a lot. We
as
did a
I
lot,
edit them one by one.
man. We did a heck of a lot. There was a lot of them. But anyway, look, let's get to the toast, and we can talk more about who's coming and who's not. But tonight,
Yeah, I
um,
need this. What are
yeah,
you talking about?
free plug for pastry arky,
There you
right?
go. You hold it up, I'll read it. All right.
Go for
So
it.
this is the Pastry Arky, by DeClaw Brewing Company. This is a Baltimore, Maryland beer. So it's not that far away, from me at least, and not too far away from you, Pete. DuClaw is it's been around for a little while, so this is kind of their 25th anniversary. So 25 years or 25 beers. So this is one of their very first beers that came out, and they repopulated it. It is a chocolate raspberry stout, 7.6% alcohol, and
Oh boy.
it reads on the side. Let's see. The Patriarchy. We're celebrating 25 years of beers by bringing back what made DuClaw great from the first place. Making damn good beer, minus the rules. The year was 1998. Is that really that far away? I guess it is 25 years. We
I
faced
guess
a
it
sea
is.
of average ales and cast our reel to catch something better. We said no thank you to the normal, and the naked fish got hooked. Bursting
The
with
naked
aroma and
fish.
flavors of decadent dark chocolate, coffee beans, and fresh raspberries. Our taste buds
Ooh.
were never the same. Now, this is OG. The favorite is taking place as our number 19 in the Patriarchy series. What a good catch, because this was the naked
Nice.
fish.
All
So here
right.
we go. Hang
All
on, let
right.
me
Here we
get my.
go. Ready? Hold on. Ready?
Well,
Get
I
ready.
don't
Get
need a,
ready.
I
Get
don't need a
ready.
bottle
And
opener for this one.
one, two, three. Ready?
What? Go.
Go.
Oh, it's thick.
Oh,
Oh, it
it
smells
smells good.
awesome.
Oh my God! Free plug for patriarchy. It's
Yeah,
all right. You ready? Let me pour this. Oh my God, you guys! I don't know if you guys can see that. That's
it's a
like
little thick.
wow. Oh,
It's dark.
excellent.
It's like dark, dark.
Oh yeah. Let me just get a.
I'm
Oh
looking forward to this one. Definitely smell the
wow.
raspberries, the chocolate, and a little bit of the coffee. I
Oh
don't
for
get much. I
sure.
don't get much of the coffee. I don't, but definitely
Liquid
smell.
gold. Yes, Razor Ramon. Liquid gold. So, we are very, very grateful for all the
Yes.
fans and everybody tuning in. Everybody that's live with us. We've got a whole bunch of our fans on live
Yep.
right now as we speak. So
And
Razor Ramon, Robert Baum, Lola, of course. Thanks for tuning in.
her name was
Um,
Lola.
do not go to the
She
Copa.
was a
And,
showgirl.
and Lola's got stuff she bought. So we're gonna
Yeah,
do a
she was
little.
showing off
Yeah, we're
stuff.
gonna get
She
into it.
she
Oh
beat me
yeah.
to it. I don't know where she got that. I got to find out where, so I make sure that talk to that guy who sold it to her. No, that's my stuff. Nobody else can buy stuff but us. That's just kidding.
Nah, not true. All right. Well,
Right.
go ahead, Chris.
So
Yep.
thank you for being here. Thank you for being fans. For those in syndication, we still salute you no matter whether it's live or not. We look forward to tonight. We had a great time at New York Comic Con, and I've got to meet some of you, like Razor and everyone else. So it's great to actually put names and faces together. And we just want to say thank you. And of course, we always say, fans fuel the fleet.
Fans, fuel the fleet. Here's to you guys.
Oh my gosh, that's good.
Oh, it's like dark chocolate,
Yeah, definitely have the
right?
raspberry in there too.
And there's coffee too. You can right.
Yeah, a little bit of bitter type
The
coffee. It
aftertaste
is a
is,
dark
yeah,
chocolate, so it's gonna have a little bit of a
it
bitter
is.
taste.
It's a dark chocolate. It's very good. It's actually really really good. But
Yeah,
it's,
it's really really good.
yeah,
Um,
interesting.
you
Free
keep talking, I'm
plug.
gonna keep drinking.
Patriarchy.
Yep, you keep
Well,
talking, I'm
guys,
gonna keep drinking.
oh, Mediocre Modeler, cheer all. Welcome back from Comic-Con. Mediocre Modeler, one of these days, if you lived close by, we would be hanging with you and everybody else, man.
Oh, that's
It's so
true.
one of these days we're gonna hook up for sure. No questions asked. Okay, so look, Chris, we did a bunch of, I mean, so the convention, right? New York Comic Con is a 4 day convention. We were only there for three, right? We did 3 days, three.
Yep.
So you should be able to pick up on the interviews. And I was doing the interviews. I know Chris, you were like telling me it's the second day, third day, whatever. But in my head, it was just
Day one, day
how many
two,
days.
day
What
three.
counts? Yeah, what counts is IFB days,
Yeah,
not so much just the convention days, but IFB days, because obviously we didn't do
I'm sure
Thursday.
Thursday was pretty boring.
Well, yeah, of course, because we weren't there.
Yeah.
We saw Squid Games. There's a whole bunch of Squid Games. So if you go onto our
Yep.
website, you'll see we put up some pictures, and there's a great interview. I think Chris, you got that up, right? You were able to get that
Squid
up.
Games interview, yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Eska makes. We did her. She had her costume was made by hand.
yes,
And then
yes.
we interviewed
And we
three others. I can't remember. One was from Kim Possible. I remember that one because when Kim Possible
yes,
was one of my favorite shows when I was watching it with my daughter.
yep,
Sounds like I watched it, but yeah, I guess I did.
yeah, you did.
Every time
Yeah, no, those
every time she talked or said something, the only thing in my mind was did it. What's the sitch?
We met a bunch of people, man. It was
Oh yeah,
pretty cool. So look, the truth be told, guys, I've been going to New York Comic Con for well over a decade. It's the first one, in the new world, right? The quote past,
yeah,
post pandemic,
and it wasn't that bad.
and no, it wasn't that bad. It was subdued though, Chris. It wasn't,
Yeah,
the we didn't do any of the after parties, which there just weren't any. There were no master classes. There's a lot that goes on, support like around in some of the other areas right around the convention, and the panels were a little bit different. There was a lot of stuff online. There was a good representation in terms of numbers, but not the cosplay, right? I must have told you
yeah.
that a
I
thousand
think
times, Chris.
yeah. I was definitely I was a little shocked that there wasn't that much cosplay. I mean, there was some
Yeah,
good
no,
stuff.
there
Don't get me
wasn't.
wrong, but there wasn't a lot. Of course,
No,
we should have
no,
gone
but
to probably the contest. Maybe we would have saw some more, but
we would
walking
have seen
around,
a lot more.
it was just there was a lot of cosplay, but it just wasn't.
No, there wasn't. I got to tell you, Chris,
Yeah,
even there wasn't a lot. Normally it's, out of five, it's 3 out of 5 are dressed.
yeah.
That's normal, right? 3 out of 5 dressed, and that was not what we saw. It was maybe 1 out of 5.
Hmm.
So it was not, but it was, I guess, the first time, right? This is the biggest convention on the East Coast, and everybody came out to it, and there were a lot of people there, and we got some really cool interviews. We met a lot of very interesting people,
Yeah.
artists and dealers. And there's a cosplay movie that we
Yeah, we did.
interviewed, and
I'm working
yeah,
on that one now, so that one will probably be out at least Tuesday or so. Because
and we're working on another interview, and that's in the making. We met,
oh yeah,
Chris. You went out, yeah.
yeah.
You pushed the envelope, and we have, I have your comic book, which is right
I
here,
forgot it. Yeah.
and it's double
Signed.
signed,
Yeah.
double
Yep.
double signed, and we may have one of the two that are on here.
Yep.
We're working on getting them because they told us they would, so we're gonna hold them to it. We're not
Yep.
gonna say who it is, but one of the two autographs on here is quite possibly coming on the show.
Yeah. He seemed
And
he was a really nice guy. So
yeah, he was, and
he's
a big,
he's really big, but he was a really nice guy. Not big,
eh,
but I mean big meaning
he's
popular.
big, yeah. and he's into Galactica. Galactica was his thing at one
Yep.
time. Involved in that comic book. So that's looming. However, we did pick up a bunch of stuff.
Let's not go
Right,
into
we
the
got
stuff quite yet.
oh,
Yeah.
we got stuff to talk about,
Yeah.
guys, and this is definitely
We'll have to do that after our interview because there's so much
one of
stuff.
the artists is coming.
Yep.
This artist is coming. We're going to get him. This is really good. So we got stuff to talk about, and we're going to discuss more about New York Comic Con. And we had a lot of fun, and we'll discuss. There was
Oh,
Galactica
stuff.
to
Yeah.
be had a little
Yeah.
bit, but a little bit. We found some stuff. We made it happen.
Yeah. It was definitely no
However,
cosplay for Galactica.
no, there wasn't.
Not a
There
single thing.
wasn't.
Although
Even though
somebody had a old or new school Cylon T-shirt. That was about all
new
we could
school,
go.
yes, I did say hello to him, and he was in a hurry to go to the bathroom or something. Didn't get a chance to. I wanted to speak to him, but he was with
Yeah.
his family and stuff. All right, so you know what, Chris, let's just get into it.
Sure.
And guys, right, if you have any questions, put them up. I'll take care of those. And let me make sure. I
Wait.
happen to have a couple of windows open, and we have with us tonight an epic, right? This is a writer that writes on a whole epic fables, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what that means,
Right.
and
Which is
his
interesting, by the way.
area. Yeah, very interesting, and his area of expertise. And it's really close to my heart because I really get into a lot of this. But the elastic limit of time with Howard Loring. Mr. Loring is with us, and we're going to bring him on. And
I'm gonna hit
he's
hit
yes.
the button.
Hit the button.
Hit
Bring
the
him
button.
up.
Before,
Yeah.
hey, Carl.
So go for the intro.
Intro coming now. Hang on. Button push now.
Go. And Howard Loring, epic fable author, who is incognito.
Yep.
Yes, I write with a pen name, so in public I always alter my. Well, but I'll tell you what, since I'll just, go with,
It's like Superman and Clark Kent. You can't do that.
You wear glasses. No one will ever recognize
That's
you.
it.
Just
Totally
don't take
nobody
your
knew Clark
glasses
Kent
off.
anymore. Yeah. Just take
well,
your glasses off.
I alter my appearance often. In fact, when people start recognizing me, I shave my beard or I cut my hair, or grow a beard,
Oh,
or
love it.
grow my hair.
Yeah, because listen, as a fellow time traveler, these things are paramount in being able to evade and do what we have to do and not be recognized, right? You can't be
Right.
caught. Yes.
Yeah.
Now there before you came on, we went. I brought up some of your books. However, I was looking at these things prior to that, and there is Beyond the Elastic Limit.
Yes.
There is Piercing the Elastic Limit, and then there's the Tales of the Elastic Limit. So, tell us about your writing, and I know that there is alternate realities and there's historical figures that are twisted a bit into these tales, and one of your books is so unique that it could be read from the end to the front, and you could still get the gist of what's going on. So bring us into your world, please.
All right. Well, I write epic fables, which are very simply told stories, but they have universal human applications. They're epics, but they're very simply told. And I've written 2 novels and a book of short stories. And I write on the elastic limit of time, which is jargon for my theory of time travel, but it's also a metaphor for your imagination. So beyond the elastic limit is beyond your imagination, and piercing the elastic limit blows your imagination away. And Tales of the Elastic Limit is stories for your imagination. So the two books that are novels, Beyond the Elastic Limit and Piercing the Elastic Limit, and then the short stories, Tales of the Elastic Limit. Now, you can read any of the books in any order because they are self-contained. Uh, you don't have to read them in any kind of order. Uh, they're standalone, but they all relate and they all explain each other. And actually, they have the same people in them. And so the more you read, the more of the backstory you become aware of. And the order in which you read them, that dictates how the backstory comes about. So you read and you say, oh, this is the guy in the other book or whatever, you know. And so it's very exciting. I use a lot of true history, and I use classical myth. I play against type, which is shocking, or uh, you know, smacks you in the face kind of a thing. They're time travel. They're sci-fi. Some people would say they're fantasy. I say they're more science fiction, but they're mystery tales. They're detective tales. They're historical fiction. I use a lot of real people from history and lots of documented circumstance. They're adventure sagas. They're love stories. They're hard to define. Excuse me. Uh, so yeah, I'm here to talk about them. As you said, the one book, Tales of the Elastic Limit, it can be read in three different ways. It's short stories, so there are 12 short stories. Each one of them can be read in any order. It's a self-contained piece about time travel. But if you read them in order, it's an adventure tale. It's the history of time. And since time is linear, it's the same from one direction or the other. So you can read the book backwards by reading the last chapter first and then going in reverse order. So you can read it front to back, you can read it back to front, or you can read it piecemeal, you know, one at a time in any order. That's pretty cool, I think,
That's pretty.
because
Oh,
it's
heck yeah.
all about time.
That's unique.
It is. It is. It's fantastic. Some now you do drop on your site. You point out that there are at least three figures, three historical figures. One of them being Julius Caesar. And so
No,
he.
there are lots of historical figures. Uh,
Okay.
Caesar, Marcus Agrippa,
Ooh.
Marcellus, they were Roman commanders. But
Yes.
I also talk about Archimedes, Albert Einstein,
Ooh.
lots of different scientists, Joseph Priestley, uh, uh, Cuvier. I have real political figures, Henry VIII, Robert Cecil, uh, Henry Percy, William Paget, William Somers. They were all Tudor politicians, but I talk about classical artists such as Christopher Marlowe and Shakespeare, of course, Thomas Jefferson, William Clark, the famous explorer, and a lot of classical musicians. Robert Schumann, his wife Clara, who was more famous than he was during their lifetimes. Brahms, Johannes Brahms, excuse me. Uh, Mendelssohn. There are lots of true historical figures and true events that were covered. I cover the fall of Syracuse, the 45 Battle of Munda, which was the last battle of the Roman Civil War, which Julius Caesar won, ended the first Roman Civil War. The court of Henry VIII, sinking of the Mary Rose, the biggest warship in the world at the time. I cover Elizabethan politics and the rise of modern literature, the age of fossils, how science was codified, the advent, like I said, of classical music, and the onset of classical physics, uh, which all leads, of course, to the elastic limit of time. So,
Wow.
you know, so
Fantastic.
yes, I use true history, but I also use myth. I use a lot of unconscious cues and things. So very interesting.
It's fantastic. Now, these the particular now there's the tales, which is the short stories, and the other two novels. All of them are available on Amazon, also Barnes
Yes.
and Noble and Smashwords. So if we were to go to howardloring.com, they're there. There's links directly to Amazon, and I find I find your um, the way you weave these, the various, the time, the concept of the time, the historical fiction. You say there's, an element of the science fiction involved, of course, and the linkage. I find that all fascinating. This is definitely something that I am truly interested. I know that on occasion you do go out to conventions, because
I have, yes.
we also like to meet up and get some of these autographed when available. Do you have a path set up to any upcoming conventions?
No, the pandemic pretty much put the brakes on that. So I'm just waiting. I'm sure in the future that will happen. I really enjoy sitting on panels. I enjoy the interaction with the fans. Uh, they're I sit in on panels on sci-fi, of course, and also on time travel, which is my genre, but also historical fiction. And uh, I just really enjoy the one-on-one and the group atmosphere. It's one thing to take uh, questions like we're doing now. It's another thing to have a room full of people that are
Oh,
feeding off each
absolutely.
other.
Oh,
Yeah. So
100%.
yeah,
uh
yeah, I
so
really do like. I really do like conventions, and it's sad that the pandemic put put the kibosh on that for a while.
for a
But it's
while,
turning
for
around. Turning
it
around.
is. It definitely is, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. And Chris and I, we're definitely witnesses to that. And people are coming around, and the conventions are starting up. Unfortunately, they're still using, the templates from the previous year, so that everybody's a little bit behind schedule, and it's going to take a
Right.
bit of catching up. But so do you employ, besides just the general idea of historical fiction, is there any alternate history in your work?
Oh yes, of course. Oh yes.
So how does that play out in terms of your bigger vision? Is that something that does it
Well, it's all
the
about storytelling for me. It's
okay.
all a good. If you tell a good yarn, and again, I use classical myth. I use stereotypes or archetypes are called, uh, and they tell the backstory. Remember, I'm writing fables. They're very simple, little description. So I use stereotypes to tell the backstory, so I don't have to spend a lot of time doing that because I want to tell an epic tale, an epic. You know, Literature has all kinds of jargon. A short story is a contained piece. A novel has character development, usually longer. A fable has a moral. And in an epic, the plot is secondary in an epic. It doesn't really matter what they do. The important thing in an epic is how they change because it's universal. And if you do it right, everyone can relate to it because it's universally, everyone can relate to it. Everyone's been, unlucky in love. Everyone's been sick of their job. Everyone's felt at the end of their rope. So, if you use these stereotypical situations, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't get bogged down in minutia, and then you can tell the adventure tale. And it's time travel. Uh, Time travel aficionados are rabid. They will pick you apart if you don't have a working theory and hardware. They won't put up with you. So I had to
Huh.
come up with my own unique thing, that is the elastic limit of time. Time is not fixed. It pulses. It moves. It's also circular in nature,
Oh
like
wow.
a corkscrew. So it's linear, but it's not on one dimension. And because it pulses, if you have the proper hardware, you can jump from point to point. So I had to come up with my own theory, but the books are not about that. They're shrouded in that, and that's what permits the adventure tale to happen. But it's all about good storytelling and a mystery, and they're epic fables. It's they're very simply told, but they're layered. So you say, oh my goodness, it's this is a giant story simply told, and it's couched
Fantastic.
in real history, and it's sci-fi and time
Yeah.
travel. It's lots of things going for it.
So the
I think it's
tales
very
of
unique.
it sounds fantastic. Now the tales of the Elastic Limit, 12 epic fables, revised edition, copywritten 2019. So
Yes,
it's, I mean, it's fairly recent that
yes,
you I guess you republished the from the original. So this is still, this is still how the ink is still drying on the pages. This is something that um looks super interesting. As a matter of fact, I opened up the book to part 2, innovation, and it's I guess chapter 7 is dinner with the doge, and now I
the
am
Doge,
super
yes,
fascinated because I'm sure this is going to have something. Well, I'm gonna guess it has something to do with the Crusades and Byzantium and Constantinople, and so I'm totally totally into this. So I am intrigued. I personally am hooked. Um, you mentioned a lot. So in your explanation, there are the markers for our fans that are creative. A lot of the fans that listen to the show are they dabble in writing themselves, and
good.
so some of these concepts that you just described, and the archetypes and the fable itself, and putting it together, are golden rules for success.
hmm Well, I was not always a writer. I have a very diverse background. I'm basically an artist, and I do all kinds of creative things. And I have written. I was in advertising for a while, so I've written copy, and I use what's called the uh, three times rule, where you tell them what you're going to tell them, and then you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. And so, but uh, I I always said I was going to write a book. Lots of people say that. And when I sat down and said, okay, now's the time, I'm going to write a book, I'm not Tolstoy. I'm not Hemingway. I am well read and I can recognize bad writing. But uh, I decided to take, uh, use some of my favorite authors as a guide. So I borrowed heavily from Burroughs, who wrote the
Okay.
Princes of Mars and the
Hmm.
Sure.
Venus book. Tarzan, So
John
his
Carter.
stuff was very simple. In the Tarzan books, he has, like a page and a half for every chapter. So, Tarzan sees people walking in the grass, somebody in his domain, and he climbs the tree and the snake gets on him. That's the end of the chapter. Then he dives in the river and the snake lets go and he crawls up and he looks and he sees these people have guns. And he's in the tall grass getting closer and the lion jumps on him. Okay, and so it goes on and on and on. So it's very simple. So I use that. I also used O. Henry because
Oh
I
wow,
always
awesome.
enjoyed O. Henry because he sends you down a line like this and you say, aha. And then he goes like this. And
Yes.
you're like, why? Why?
Fantastic.
So I
Yes.
wanted to do that. And I also use Dickens. Dickens, in the time of Dickens, very few people bought novels. Dickens was serialized in the newspapers, the penny papers, they're called. And so his chapters, because they were serialized, they had a beginning and a middle and an end. So that's what these are some of the things I used. I have very quick uh, uh, page turning chapters. They lend you to go this way, and you say, I'm figuring this, and then it goes like this, and you're like, what? And they have a beginning and a middle and an end. So yeah, it's very interesting that you have listeners who aspire to write. Never give up. If you are called to use words as your palette, then paint until you are satisfied. That's my advice.
Wow, that's fantastic. Um, well, you know, Howard, this was enlightening. It was just it inspires on many different levels,
Well, good.
and the way that you present the material is fascinating. And I, for one, will be reaching out to you at some point to let you know how much I enjoyed the book, the novel. Right now, I'm drawn to the tales, and we definitely have to have you come back and we'll discuss a little bit more of the actual characters and where they go and where they, without giving it all away, of course. But we also want to know, we usually like to find out a couple of extra things from our guests. One is, what is upcoming, and have you done a screenplay, or is that something not not interesting in terms of where your mindset is?
No, actually, I'm working on a screenplay. The two novels would make excellent movies, but also the tales of the Elastic Limit, the short stories, would make a great TV show because the time travelers go back in time to real historical places and meet real historical personalities. And there's 12 stories, but history is full. I mean, you'd have an unending supply of TV episodes. So yes, that's I would love uh, to someone to reach out to me along these lines, and that's my next step, is to get these on film or TV.
Wow.
That's my big dream. The novels would make excellent, and as a franchise also, because these books stand alone, but they all relate and they explain each other. So as a franchise, it's a natural fit. You wouldn't
Ha-
have to try and make them fit together. They already do. That's the whole point.
have you considered graphic novels?
I have considered that, but I've gotten nowhere on that. You know, that's I
But it
just
is, you didn't pursue it all the way. You've thought of it and you've looked into some aspect of it, but it would be something
Well,
that
I've contacted people that produce graphic novels, and the people that I've uh, tried to make contact with, they've got their own gig, and they're not,
Yeah.
they haven't been interested.
Yeah, this would be an interesting comic book series type thing. I mean, a graphic novel or
Well,
comic book, right?
I'm open to that too. I'm trying to spread word of the elastic limit of time, which is a
Yep.
unique take on the genre, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I'm on all kinds of time travel groups, say like on Facebook,
Hmm.
and these people pick you apart.
Yeah.
They got to have a working theory. You got to have a machine that's going to work, and of course, in my books, a lot of time the machine breaks down, and people are like, they have to improvise. That's what it's all about. So my
interesting.
it's not standard fare. It's interesting to the genre. You can read this in terms of the historical fiction. In fact, a lot of people that read sci-fi or time travel in particular, they're blown away by the history because they don't read history. They don't read historical novels. And this doesn't beat you over the head. This is immersed in the times where the time travelers go. They're trying to do something or whatever. They're immersed in the times and people are blown away. They're like, wow, I can't believe, So it's unique. They're adventure tales, they're mysteries, time travel, sci-fi, love story. It's the whole shebang.
Fantastic. A lot of our fans are giving the thumbs up. Paul, thanks for joining. John Van Gosting, making sure you don't get poisoned by the Borgias, and intriguing concepts. Yes. So yeah, this is definitely what our fans, at least here, are definitely interested in, as we are. And we did meet many individuals at Comic Con that decided that they were going to, like you were saying, explore the concept of creating the graphic novel, and just did Kickstarters and raised enough
Right.
funds and reached out and just did it. So yeah, there's this is totally intriguing, and we must follow this up. And so, is there another novel? Is there another short story? Is there more coming out? Is there what else is in the works?
Well, I'm into the creative end. So the first book is told in backstory and in retrospect, so it jumps around a lot. Uh, I'll give it away. Spoiler alert: in the first book that I wrote, that is, you don't have to read it first because you can read them in any order. But in Beyond the Elastic Limit, time explodes. The machine has been sabotaged,
Oh,
and so time explodes. It comes together. It's all screwed up, and they got to fix it. So it's told in backstory, and it jumps around because because time has exploded, and you're three-quarters of the way through the book before you realize not only what's happened but what they're trying to do to fix what's happened. All right. Well, the second book, I wanted something different. So the second book was a novel, also Piercing the Elastic Limit, and it goes from A to Z. It goes straight through. It's like a movie. And in the third book, I wanted something different as well. So I chose to write short stories, and I chose to write short stories that, if you took them in sequence, would tell a story, or if you went backwards in sequence, they would show you how the historical events came to be. So the Tales of the Elastic Limit, I tried to hit the most important things in human history. So, agriculture, or the written word, or the invention of the wheel, or sailing ships, or the onset of science, uh, or classical music, or whatever. Uh, so if I were to write something else, I would have to come up with a different angle, because it's going to have to be something different.
Hmm.
And in every book, I had a hook. I had a weird idea, and I just went with it. I sat down, and I've got these three books. The first book is like 375 pages, I think. The second book's like 250 pages. The third book, Tales, on my computer was 100 pages. So I got better at what I was doing. But, you know, uh, they were all presented differently. And I would have to, they each had a hook. I had a strange idea, and I had all these books, and I never, I just sat down and started writing. I had this weird idea. I never wrote an outline. I never tried to figure out ahead of time what was going to happen.
Wow.
The books wrote themselves. The characters took me on their adventure. And, I framed the circumstance, the machine, and the theory, and all this stuff. And I knew the history. I read a lot of history. Uh, it's, but it's not pre-planned,
Mm-hmm.
and it flowed. It was organic. And so if I was to write another one, I would have to have a hook, and I would have to have a different presentation. But that doesn't mean I won't.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Howard Loring, thank you so much for taking the time out and sharing all your insights with us. And we are definitely looking forward to hearing more. We ourselves obviously are fans, and for the our supporters and our fans, our listeners that are into, of course, writing and are into reading, this sounds like it's exactly the type of stuff that we all enjoy. So go to Amazon, and there's Kindle editions as well that are
Yes,
very,
I
very
sell a lot of
affordable.
ebooks. I
Oh,
sell
so
more ebooks than paperbacks.
yes,
So
yes, in the
good.
digital age, and they are super affordable. So
Yeah.
there's no excuse. We are very, very honored and happy that you took the time out to come and visit us, Howard Loring, and the epic fables of the limit of time. And
Yeah.
I myself, like I said, I am fascinated now by the tales, which is the short stories that can be read from back to front or front to back, and you could still get into the full feeling of the story itself, get the whole gist of it either way, which is fascinating in and of itself. I am definitely going to get back to you, even if it's on a personal level, and let you know once I complete these. So we definitely would like to have you back, and maybe we can talk
Well,
more about your writing style and how that, a little more on that.
I would love to. I have a unique writing style, but let me say, if any of your viewers uh, who are into graphic novels, or into production in terms of TV or movies, if they want to help me do something, they can contact me through my website, or on Facebook. I got two different Facebook pages. I have a fan page and a friend page. Uh, so I'm open. And
Well,
if someone who produces graphic novels is interested, I would definitely work with them in terms of material. And uh, but I would enjoy talking about my style too, and how the books came about. So I would more than be open to coming back for another visit. I've enjoyed myself immensely, and I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We there's a lot that can be done, especially in this day and age with the digital age, and we saw a lot of that at
Yeah.
the last
Yeah,
Comic Con, right,
yeah.
Chris? We saw
Yeah.
guys that they funded their own
Yeah.
comic books.
Yeah. 13. Was it $1,300 for the Luchador?
I think it was maybe something or other, but
Yeah.
the idea is that we encountered Kickstarter campaigns that were able to fully fund their visions and
Right.
produce.
Well, I understand that, but I'm not going to start a campaign if I don't know where to put the money. And I've tried to
Makes sense.
contact people that do this, and they're like, "Well, we got our own stuff, and good luck to
Oh,
you
see,
guys."
then there is a lot going on. There's a lot, and
Well,
there's bigger conversations that we should definitely explore because
I'm open. I'm more than open.
we we met some very successful individuals that some of them have they've broken the limit, the ceiling, and they've actually been picked up by actual publishing houses by doing things there on their own. And
Yes,
we've met individuals that were able to harness artists to help them put together their vision, so they themselves were not artistically inclined or able, but they were able to round up those that were, and created these works that are just right now they're independent, but they're being published by themselves.
Yep.
But there's no question in my mind,
well,
and Chris will agree that we saw it happen. They were picked up by actual companies,
Yep.
publishing companies, and so there's bigger conversations that we have to have, and there are avenues to explore, and we will I think we're not going to let this go. There's things that can be done, and I think should be done. So we will talk.
Yeah.
excellent. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and we look forward to having you back. I'm gonna throw it to Chris. Chris, any last comments?
Like Pete was saying, there's always options of things to do, from graphic novels to screenplays to everything else. And it's hard to break into the screenplay piece. I think the easy button usually is graphic novels and comics, because they're short, they're small, they're cheap. And then I think, but those are all those options are great. And I think time travel is a very interesting subject for that type of venue. So I think I think Pete's right. I think we'll there's a really good option to move into that, as well as the books are, I haven't finished one yet, but I've read the freebies on the front, I admit. Okay, so which really got me intrigued to begin with. So when I slow down long enough, I'm going to go ahead and grab the one with all the different the stories in it. I think that's probably the best one to start with. You think?
I would say if you're not into the genre, that would be the perfect one to start with.
Okay, sounds great. But yeah,
But
I
if
think
you like novels,
yeah.
if you like novels and you like time travel or sci-fi in general, you can read the novels as well.
Cool.
But the tales, uh, some of them are just a few pages long.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the longest one I think is 15 pages. So the different stories. So yeah,
that's where I need to jump in at, evidently.
That's a good read. Put it on your bedside table.
I just picked up a copy. I picked up a Kindle copy as we spoke, so I'm good to go.
Okay. Well, let me know what you think.
Will do.
Absolutely. Thanks
All right.
again for stopping by, and we will be in touch. And I want to thank all the fans that were on live with us for this segment. Mediocre Modeler, Paul Roeder from Colonial Warriors, and Linda Russell from the UK watching with us, and John Van Gostein, of course, and George G in the house, Mediocre Modeler, and Razor Ramon. Everybody else that's on there that hasn't put anything up, though, we appreciate your time.
Yep.
And the show goes on, Mr. Loring's coming back, and we're gonna explore more. And this is super fascinating. You guys that are writing, I'm sure if you were paying attention, there is a lot of golden rules and good concepts and
And don't forget
ideas.
to check out the blog. The blog has got a lot of good information in regards to the way you rank, the words that you were talking about earlier, the literary words that they use for specific things.
Jargon, yes.
Yeah, the jargon.
Oh
piece.
yeah,
So yeah, check out the
fantastic.
blog.
Actually,
The blog is really nice.
A couple of short stories are in different blogs too. Different, I use them as examples. If you picked up the tales, be sure to read the notes at the end, because it tells you the context of how the books relate,
Okay.
and also
Fantastic.
tells you how the true history, what's true, and uh, how things were
Very
changed,
cool.
kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right.
Yes.
Well,
I always have a book of notes. I always have a page of notes with every book, because
really?
people, otherwise I'm always answering, well, is this really real? Did that really
Did that
happen?
happen?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
John Van Gostein says we'll have questions for Mr. Loring when I finish Tales. You and I, and possibly Chris, for sure, since I actually own it. I will be reading that very, very soon. Thank you so much, Mr. Loring.
Yep.
We
Look
will
forward to
be
having
in
you back.
touch. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to have you back, and we'll be talking about many, many things, including
thank
your
you
work.
so much. I've enjoyed myself.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, stay well, stay safe until the next time. Fans Fuel the Fleet.
Fans for
Thank
the
you for
fleet, sir.
coming
Thank
on.
you for coming on.
This one's to you, Mr. Loring.
All right. I'm drinking water.
That's good stuff.
Water,
Nothing wrong with
that works.
All right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Take care, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Well, guys, I was listening. There was some really, really strong points that were made, Chris. I was like, whoa, okay. Simple, but definitely, part of the structure. I mean, obviously the archetypes is in and of itself, right? That's
time
that's one
thing. Time travel is always interesting. Because
of course
open.
it is.
It's so
yeah.
open, what could happen if this happened, or if that happened, or how would it's always it's always human nature is that what would I have done differently, or what could have been done differently.
The what ifs.
Yeah, the what ifs always drive the storylines too. Just like if you read a story, you write a book. If you read that chapter, and your next chapter should be saying, well, what happens next? That's why they go to the next chapter. So yeah, so time travel really leads into that. I think it's going to be I'm going to pick up a copy. I'll try to read it.
I got mine. It's open right now. I got it.
That. So
the Kindle Cloud Reader. I have it.
$2.99 right though. You can't beat that.
No, man. I'm serious. I literally I can. He hugged her, relieved that she wasn't upset. I just quoted a line from the book.
Yeah.
So I have it. I will be reading. I am totally intrigued. That was pretty
and you're big
cool.
into history, so you're not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who
would
man.
have thought somebody who's wrote a history book.
This is. I love it. Love it. So guys, thanks for
a history book, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. No kidding. So yeah, very cool. 1,000 Cubits. Thanks, Paul Roeder. Thank you for joining. Always cool to have you on board. Speaking of Battlestar Galactica, then let me mention the fact that we were able to we snagged one heck of an interview.
Oh yeah,
and it's not the end of it, right? There's going to be more.
He's going to come on. He said so.
Yes, Chris Fian, the one and only. He was instrumental in organizing Battlestar Galactica groups back in the day, and he's now the commander of the Empire City Garrison for the 501, and he's been actively involved with them. I think he said about 15 years. So he picked up pretty much when I left. and he is going to come back. Watch the interview. Great interview. Talked about all the things that he does, right, Chris? That
Yep.
a lot of the charity work that they do, which is fantastic. But he did talk to us about his role in Battlestar Galactica, and I had met him a few times at various conventions. And there he is. I met him at Icon, a New York, Long Island convention that is basically no more. I used to be out at Stony Brook University. It was a fantastic convention that was on for decades. And that's where I got to see Richard Hatch's Second Coming, and that was all put together by Rich Fian, him and his group. And so he said he would come on the show, and I'll bust out the picture I have and some of the correspondence I have from back in the day when I had first met him. And so that was so fascinating, and that's something that we're going
Yeah.
to follow up on. And then there was a lot of other
And we ran into a
great
lot of
interviews.
comic book artists and comic people who produce their own comics, and we even talked to a Comixology, which was we didn't get an
Yes.
interview with them, but they pointed us in the direction to. So we were asking them, so how would one person go about taking their dream and
Yes.
getting it
And
put
putting
into
it up.
Comixology?
Yeah.
And the
They
lady,
told
I
us.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, but she was
very informative, and she's like, "Hey, here's the email address. This is the people you need to talk to, and they'll help you. You know, they'll describe. You know, they're willing to come on the air and kind of, talk about the avenue,
guide us.
yeah, the avenue to get there. Where, what's the road to that thing? What checkpoints do you have to? What toll roads do you have to hit? What tolls do you have to pay to get to this one point? And they talked about, and they're now the Comixology is inside of Amazon. So
Yep.
just like you can self-publish on Amazon, you can now self-publish. From what she was saying, you can now self-publish your
Yes.
own comic book on
Yes.
Amazon, and they'll
That's right.
distribute it for free as long as if you're not making any money off of it, you're trying to distribute to get it out. They'll do that kind of thing, and they'll describe all that when we get them on. So I thought that was really unique because now, everything's going digital. Comics are going digital. Although I like the the type thing, But but it's another avenue, and then it's things that we've looked at before. So hey, I like this storyline, or I want to create a storyline, or I want to write a book. Is it do I want to dive into write a book, or could I write a graphic novel or a comic book prior to that, just to see how it plays out? Before I
Right.
don't jump in and do a novel. Before I spend as much time as I have to write 400-page novel or 500-page novel, let me write something that's pretty much like I guess a comic. Easy way to describe a comic would be it's almost an outline a little bit. It's an outline with words and pictures. So it's almost like a storyboard.
Yeah, it is a storyboard.
And
Yeah.
that way you can you can try that out to the public and see what kind of gauge the interest. Maybe that's not the route you want to go. Maybe that's not the story that's going to sell. Maybe after you do it, you're like, I really like the story, but there's just not enough substance there to create a novel now. So maybe that might be able to give you a hint. So I'm not telling you what way to go, or I'm just saying this. Those are the options that are out there. I think it's kind of a unique way of doing things, and
Yes.
can't be wrong. I mean, hey, let's write a story, or let's write a screenplay. Well, you could write the graphic novel or a comic book, and you could have a very smaller version of that screenplay with pictures. So,
Well,
right,
look,
I get off my
bottom
soapbox
line
now.
is, yes, bottom line is that we met all types, but
Yeah.
it was interesting that you remembered that Comixology was
Yeah.
there, and we interviewed off camera. We had a long conversation with a representative, a director of programming,
Yep.
and she told us that if we approach Comixology, that they would actually have someone come on the show. So we're going to take them up on it. So in the future,
Yeah.
we
Well,
will have someone come on the show.
I just saw Eric put down. He says, "I have zero artistic talent." A lot of the comic people we interviewed have zero artistic talent.
Yep.
They wrote the comic, and they subcontracted the pictures.
Yeah,
we're
imagine
talking,
that.
Some of these people did Fiverr.
Yeah,
they went to Fiverr and had the comics. They would tell them what they were looking for, and they would put it up. Wasn't the
one guy actually
he drew Peruvian guy?
He drew stuff.
Yeah, he drew stick
very
figure stuff.
Yeah, and sent it over. Yeah. And those guys created like the comic book. Yeah. And then he would go back and forth and tell them what to change and what not to do. And he got together a full team, and he wasn't the only one. Right. And he's got three trade, I think, what is it? Three graphic paperbacks or trade paperbacks coming out. Yeah. And a whole line. He's got a line of stuff coming out, and it's phenomenal. And we tried to pick up, he was there to advertise. We have his interview. Yep. So his interview will be up. We're going to have an interview. We did an interview with him. We'll have that up. Yeah. And Carl, listen, you mentioned, we definitely want to have you on the show and discuss your visions and, Battlestar Galactica. He asked us, did we find any BSG props, gems, or cosplayers at the con? Unfortunately, there were no cosplayers that we saw, and we spent 3 days there.
3 days there.
We did
Not
find
that there wasn't some cool stuff there, but
there was some cool stuff. Yes,
I mean, I even went to the. This is sad. I mean, I even went to the big T-shirt tower, and asked them, say, "Hey, you got any Battlestar Galactica shirts?" And they're like, "No, check our website."
I got this.
Yeah, but we did find comics. And we found a comic artist who did Battlestar Galactica comics and had him sign one of the comics that I have. Hang on, I'll give you a full screen there, Pete. There.
So I got these.
One. Yeah. So the signed one is we actually met the artist who did the cover, as well as I'm not going to give it too far away. He did the cover for that, as well as he kind of ran the company.
Yeah. So let's not give any more away.
Yeah, we won't go.
But we got that. Right, and here you go. Here's another one from that line. Yep. And we picked that up. This was like $1.
Oh yeah, they were really good prices. Yeah.
Yeah. I got this signed by the cover artist Marquez, and that was like $5.
And you had a picture drawn too. You had an artist actually draw a picture.
Yes, I did. Here it is. I'm going to show that real quick, and he's going to come on the show.
Yep.
He's going to come on the show.
Talk about that.
Yep, he's definitely coming on the show. He's a big Battlestar Galactica fan, so he's going to come on the show. We did this as well.
Yes, that interview is coming out probably Tuesday of next week.
Yeah,
I have to
and
do
that's
some
a movie.
On it.
This is a movie.
It's a movie. So
it's a
they
movie.
crowdfunded and they self-funded and self-produced that movie, and it's about a
cosplayers.
We'll let them talk it. But, the easy way of saying it's about a cosplayer who gets lost in their cosplay. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's really, really cool. Oh, and I got this one too. Remember this one?
Yeah,
that's a nice one, right?
Yeah, it sucks. I don't like that.
No, it's cool.
Cylon's being hurt.
Yeah, that's right. That's cool. That's what makes it so cool. I got a Virgin Art cover. Bam! Look at that.
Chris found that one. Ha ha ha.
Chris found that one. Chris found this one too.
Yeah.
This is from the 1970s. I think George remembers this one. This is where they divulged that the Shadow also has ninja training. And there's this one, right? There's a variant cover. Yeah. I got a bunch of variant covers. Oh, wait a second, guys. Wait a second. Since you asked, we got these. So
I was missing two of them, and I found the last
two of them. Yeah,
it's funny that
is that one.
Lola
and this one, they were like $1 each.
Yeah,
right?
Lola showed pictures. Yeah, they're easy $1 piece, and they're like, but it's hard to say on camera. They're hard to tell, but those things look like they've never been opened. It's probably I've got some Battlestar Galactica comics from Marvel that are yellowed and everything else, but those didn't look like they've ever been opened.
Correct, and I'll show you. Here, I'll put it up nice and close.
Yeah, there's no creases on the corners.
No, there's none.
And
The
and
corners
the
are like
binder looks
mint.
like it's never been opened.
Yeah, very cool. So oh, and then you know what? This is we're also gonna have um
This is yeah.
Gonzo.
This is one of our interviews. Very interesting storyline behind this. It's
Yeah,
luchadors who run the
yeah,
world. So you have a
yes,
business problem. Your
yeah,
luchadors go in the ring to solve
yeah,
the problem.
yes.
So
This is
very
so
cool.
cool. Yeah, he tells the story, right? So he had these like the first two. I mean, he self-funded all
Yeah,
these. He
this is
did
all self fund.
Kickstarter.
This is one of the self funders. Yeah,
Yeah, and then he got picked up by I believe it's
Image.
Image.
Yeah, Image.
Yeah, Image picked him up. So he started it. He did it himself, self-funding. Then he did Kickstarter, and then Image picked him up. And this is really cool. He purposely um, selected the
Oh
publishers
yeah.
so that
Tell
right
them about the
when you open
paper.
it,
Yeah.
when you open the paper, it feels and smells like the 1970s style comic book.
Yeah, he
It
made
is
sure you use the same
freaking
style
awesome.
ink and paper that the 70s did,
Oh
so you get
yeah, it's
that comic book
incredible.
smell to it.
Oh yeah. And then we met father and son, right?
Yes,
The
very
sword
good.
of the
Yeah,
apocalypse.
another good
And
interview
they
that's
were,
coming out.
oh my God. And they were kind enough to gift us with a copy each.
Yep,
And this is self-funded and published by them, right?
yep,
Self-published through a publishing house called Dorrance Publishing Company. And they have a screenplay. They turned this into a screenplay, and they have interested parties. So they actually are. We have an interview with them that we're going to put
yep.
up. But this has the potential of becoming a movie, possibly for one of the cable stations, right?
Yeah,
They didn't, they couldn't tell us that, of course, but that was okay. They're coming on. We have their interviews, so they'll be
yeah.
on the show, and they were very kind, Chris. They gave us copies of the book, so that was very kind of them
Well,
after
it
we
was a
done the
unique
interview
story
and stuff.
behind that too.
Oh
His
yeah,
son said, "Hey, Dad, didn't you write a book a little while ago?" And yeah, I never finished it. And it says, Let's do it together."
yeah.
That's cool.
So you should come back on.
Yeah,
Don't
think so.
don't let
You
me.
were showing
Yeah,
stuff.
because
Oops,
I
wrong one.
was,
There we go.
and there we go. So yeah. So oh, by the way, Carl, we found two things of interest. One of them we put up on our site, and that was the fact that we found a carded Adama figure, right? One of the
Graded,
original, yeah, rated, right?
yeah,
And
graded
yeah,
in the plastic box. Yeah,
yes. So it was yeah, carded and rated and sealed, and it was in a showcase. And so we took a picture of Chris wanting to rip it apart
I
and
want to open
could
it and
not.
play with it.
Yeah,
What's
that's
for their
right.
toys if you can't open and play with them?
Exactly. Eric Patton, Max Press, issue number one of the best. Yes,
Yes,
that's right. Paul Roeder, excellent, of course. And John Van Gostein says a lot of graphic novels became movies. And
yes,
speaking of that, there was the Undiscovered Country was represented. Why the Last Man,
yep.
which is on the air now as we speak, was some of the people behind it,
Yeah,
and or rather the
yeah,
behind the graphic novel were there.
right.
Undiscovered Country was there, and that's coming out as well. So there was a lot
Yeah,
of
the guy who created Deadpool was there. I don't know his name.
yes, he was there as
Yep.
well. We spoke to him. Um, and Carl, the price. Oh,
On the
we saw
carded one.
Cylon.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
the
saw
carded
Silent. Yeah,
one.
the carded one I
We saw
think was
Cylon.
like 250, but
Yeah,
it was carded, and
and
it was
graded
graded and put into a
and
plastic
sealed.
thing with
Yeah,
sealed with the
yeah,
grade number. It was like a
yeah.
9.2 or something at the top.
And
So
the Cylon action
$25.
figure was about $50,
Yeah,
and it was in a little plastic bag.
yeah,
We didn't get them. I have my own, and
that was a
Chris
little
doesn't
overpriced.
appreciate those because they're too small. He doesn't.
Yeah, it was overpriced.
His fingers are like so big. They're like, he's got Cylon hands, so he doesn't
Yeah,
want to play with little figures.
and then let's see, we've got this one coming out too. This was another. Uh,
Oh yes,
this is another
Tap.
comic
What was
book.
it? Yeah,
Tap Dance
Bloom.
Killer.
Tap Dance Killer. We got
Yeah, so we
an
interviewed this
awesome
individual.
interview.
So
Yes.
this is another one of those self-funded things. And look, it's not like a thin thing. He just self-funded it. So he just hired out. A lot of these people hired out.
Yeah, and it was really cool though. And you know, on occasion, some of the guys would gift us some of their work. The ones
We
that
didn't
Chris
ask
had
for
up,
it. Yeah.
no, they were given to us
And then I
unsolicited.
bought,
Unsolicited.
and I bought. I ran into a guy. We did an interview with him. This was fun, but I don't know. He was just kind of. It was kind of commercialized, but they have a one of my favorite actors. Yeah, we can say that. From They Live. They have a comic book for him. Roddy Piper, the Kilted Avenger.
Yeah.
It's a graphic novel. It's big, so that's gonna be fun. I haven't done that one yet.
So look, what we did at the convention, right, Chris, was we took advantage of anyone that was interested in taking a time out to do an interview with us, right? So if they wanted to, we didn't, you know, we weren't twisting arms.
Nope.
So obviously the interviews that we got are, you know, they wanted to, you know, get the word out. They wanted to talk about their stuff, and therefore, you're right. Everything is unsolicited. Nothing's, you know, there's no cool.
Blue hair girl, right? No, we didn't do blue hair.
No, we didn't. I mean, we went to her twice, and it didn't work out. She wasn't able to. But maybe in the future, right? There was a few people that we just couldn't get back to. But we made a list, and we went to everybody that we spoke to that wanted to come on camera, and then we followed every single one up. Now, whether or not they could for whatever reason or could not, that was up to them. But we went back to every single person. So we got some pretty cool stuff. Sub-Zero looks great. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The cosplay. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was some of that was going on. It was a lot of fun. Yep. So you guys now saw.
If you missed it, I did a 360 video for going into the con in the. If you have to walk through the line. So we were in line walking to the con, and I pulled out a 360 camera and shot a 360 video, which is it's kind of unique. It's kind of fun to sit there and spin around and see all the people in costume or people going in, and just see the number of people, and it was fun. I like 360 videos. They don't seem to take off on the channel much, but they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they are. So we did the 3 days. We did go to the we went up to the new wing in the Jacob Javits Convention Center, and they were doing some of the Star Trek premiere stuff.
Yeah,
Prodigy.
They did a premiere like a 15-20 minute first look at Star Trek Prodigy, which is the cartoon. It's the I called it the indoctrination of Star Trek, because that's
for the new kids, for the little kids.
Hey kids, come here, check this out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And
then later on, they're in the back alley going, "Hey, kid, you want some more Star Trek? All right, that's going to be like $20 a month for
Paramount
for Disney
or
Plus
whatever.
Or whatever.
That's right. Yeah. Well, look, that's if you got to you know, if you're going to appeal to a younger generation and make sure that you bring them up in this, you know, that's what you have to do.
You don't want your fandom aging out.
Correct. George says Battlestar convention for next year.
Yeah, why not? Let's make one.
From your mouth to God's ears, that would be great.
Let's do one.
Yeah, let's do one. But you know, wait a second.
For that, hang on.
Go ahead. Buddha. Yes, Cylon Buddha. Go do it.
Is it by your command? Hang on. I got the video.
Go ahead, do it.
Yeah, that one I think.
By your command. By your command. By your command.
There we go. Cylon Buddha, we wish for a Battlestar Galactica convention next year.
With the 1978 crew.
By your command.
That's right. You can't. You got to watch that evil genie that'll give you the convention. They won't have anybody from '78. No, IFG will host it. Yeah.
Why not? We've got money. What the hell?
Yeah. You mean like just as part of like MCs at part of the panels or something. That would be
Yeah.
great. Yes, Lola, of course. Well, we definitely will have Eric Larson.
Yes.
We'll be back on our show. I did contact him and had an exchange with him today.
His video's
And
taken off on the channel too, by the way.
yes, it has.
Yeah.
And he definitely, Chris will be back. He's looking forward to coming back on the show. So that's great news. And so we have the Realm comic that we're going to go over
Yep.
tonight at BSG Rules. Absolutely, Linda. Thank you so much
the
for
Realm
watching.
comic. So before we get into the Realm comic, I need to make a splash page for the Realm comic. So
Yeah.
we separate that out of everything too. But this one probably it's going to rank up to be one of my favorite comics.
Really?
This was
This one?
a very good story. It's got a very good storyline. And
wow.
of course the pictures are great, and of course there's a cat fight in it between we won't go any farther. We'll show you that one, but yeah, there's really good stuff going on in this one.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. So we have that going on, and we did tell you that we did divulge that we're going to have JC Vaughn from Realm is going to be
Yep.
on the show. Rob Baum had some factoids for us.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see. I know it isn't even 2022 yet, but has there been
Yeah,
any sort of
2023.
talk about an event in 2023 that will be the 45th anniversary of the series? For the record, I don't know of any. Rob, you're right. There
Right
isn't
here.
anything that we know.
Right here.
Yes.
We'll have an event
And-
right here for 45th anniversary.
And we're definitely gonna have something. We will
Maybe
have
that's
something.
we could do. I mean, we could bring in, they're going to want money, of course, but we could bring in stars and people, and we could have our own online convention. Really, it's an idea.
We could.
Let's throw that out there.
We do have we have
Wish-
access
Make that
to
wish. Hang on.
make the wish. Bring it around. Bring in the
Fire
Cylon Buddha.
command.
Bring it. Yes. We
We can do it
have.
again. Hang
By
on.
your command.
Yep.
By your command.
Yep.
By your command.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's right.
Let's do an
Oh,
online
yeah.
convention for the 45th anniversary.
By your
Yes.
command.
There we go. He said so.
It
Hey,
can be done,
I
guys.
gotta add on to that one.
Oh, Feldercarb. You actually believe that dagged drivel?
It can be done. We
Yeah.
can have an online. We could
Yeah,
have an online
I can do it.
convention.
We have.
And we
I
could
have
bring
I
on-
have the computer and all the
And the
associated
means.
software and everything. So
It could be done,
Yeah.
but there's going to be expenses.
yeah,
We
there'll
were
be
going
probably
to
expenses.
one last year with like 7 actors from the original
Yeah,
series, all Con in Dallas.
we tried. Yeah,
Um,
I was there.
yeah, and 2020 was canceled. Yeah,
there.
we were sponsoring like 4 panels. We had a scavenger hunt that we were sponsoring.
I
We
paid
had
for, I paid the cost to actually show the Battlestar Galactica movie in public because you have to
Yes.
have a license for that. So I actually paid for the
Yep.
license for that. And
Yep.
yeah, that didn't. Go.
and we also had giveaways with us,
Yeah.
specifically designed for AllCon. We also had convinced Eric Larson to come, and there was also a cabaret that
by
Jack
Jack, yeah.
Stauffer was going to. We had contracted him.
Yeah, but that was in the past, so that's
That was everything that we had
cry
put
over spilt
together.
milk.
Yep. Carl says Viper was all packed in the trailer and
Yeah, I
ready to
remember
travel.
somebody said that the Viper was coming. The Viper was coming, and then I guess when they started canceling out, and then it died out, they said, "Well, it's probably Carl, you're probably lucky that you didn't put all that
Yeah,
stuff
you're way
together,
better off.
put it
Yeah.
on the road because it would have been because I drove 12 hours to get there with all of the audio equipment and everything for the cabaret."
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was a blast.
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh well, thank
I don't know.
you, COVID. So
Yeah,
Thanks
no
a lot.
kidding. But we can. I mean, look, guys, it's up to you. If you
Yeah.
wanted to have just like some of these conventions that are actually, out there now, they're doing video, style conventions. We could do that too. It can be done. It just takes some
Yeah.
means. We have to raise some fund. We have to do a Kickstarter, but
Yeah.
we can bring the stars and we could have our own. And then we could, if we were able to have a successful enough Kickstarter, we could probably even do, you know, like the private chats and
Oh, yeah.
videos, and we could do all of that. But it's subject to how much, you know, we could, you
Right.
know,
So
get
like
pull up.
GalaxyCon does that now. GalaxyCon
Yes,
has
that's right, GalaxyCon.
yeah.
Yep.
You ever look them up on Facebook? They do a free. Usually they have a lot of it the time. They did Adam 12 a bunch of times. Kent McCord. They'll do a free, like a free QA thing type deal. You know, whatever you get in there,
Yeah.
and then if you want to, you know, spend 3 minutes with them alone, ask questions that they'll charge
Yeah.
you for that too. So
Right, and they do signatures too. They'll do
Yeah.
autographing.
yeah,
All
you'll
of
send in
that's
your stuff in
possible,
Agri,
guys.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
You know, hopefully somebody else will do it, but it can be done. We could do it. But anyway, look, in the meantime, Rob put up another one. I don't know how old he is, but I could kick myself for not having gone to Monster Mania circa 2015, as Roy Thines was among the guests. I reckon that the Invaders was why he was a guest at that show. Oh, now that would have been very, very cool. Oh, absolutely. More trivia contests. That was fun.
Yeah, we'll do another one.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll do another one.
We're planning one, in the near future, maybe with a specific individual that
Yes.
we can get in there with us and actually
Yes,
answer some of
we're
the
hoping
questions.
we might. Yeah, we're working on it. So
Yeah.
mediocre modeler, we're on it. And
Moonstone.
let's see. Yes,
Yes, Moonstone.
That's right. That's it. All right. So listen, guys. Let's head over to the comic book. Let's do the
head
realm.
over to the comic book.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
head over to
Oh,
the
yeah.
comic book. Yeah.
One that's all original Galactica, perhaps. That would definitely be the point, Eric. We would, if we were going to do this,
Yeah.
it would be all the original.
Actually, I would like. Okay, another. Yeah. I'd love to have Singer come on and the writers for the actually Battlestar Galactica that was going to be in 2001 before it got canned.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
love to have Singer on to talk about his vision or the writers for that for their vision in regards to the Battlestar Galactica continuation that was going to happen but didn't happen. We'd love to have them on. If you're out there, look us up. We would love to talk to you, Mr. Singer. And whoever the writers were, I think I reached out to one of the writers and never got anything back. I can't remember the name of the writers. It was a female, I believe.
Well,
So,
yes, I think
Tom
you're right.
DeSanto,
but-
yep. Tom DeSanto's,
Yep. And-
Singer
and-
Singer and
and,
DeSanto would be awesome to talk to about their vision for Battlestar Galactica and
Oh,
what
100%.
happened.
100%.
yeah,
Besides the obvious.
Yeah, they're a little
Right,
higher
besides
up on
the
us,
obvious.
our food chain. So maybe someday we can get popular enough to get their attention.
Be very cool.
We do have we did make a contact at the con with a very popular individual who's high up in the food chain who's would love to come on the show. He said so.
Yes. So that's another one. So we have a bunch of people all scheduled. And you know, we're looking forward to everyone, but in particular we said we'd have JC Vaughn from
Yes.
you know, the Realm series.
The Realm series, which we're going to
right now. Yes.
Sorry,
And
Pete,
I've been
as we're
working.
talking, I'm going to do the overhead
Yes.
camera.
I've been working on trying to get some others involved, and it might happen. So we'll see. But in the meantime, guys, I also wanted to share this with you guys. IFB is going to be representing at the Fan Expo Denver. That's October 29th to 31st. We have been confirmed for a panel, and the name of our panel is TV Nostalgia and Social Media, a Match Made in Heaven. And so that's on Friday, October 29th at 4:30 p.m., room 605. So for anyone that's going to be there, we will be there. We have our press passes have been approved. So we will be presenting a panel in Denver at the Fan Expo. It's the first time that Fan Expo actually puts together a Denver convention. Fan Expo is kind of like expanding their horizons. They bought out a lot of cities and areas from WizardCon, and so we're now involved, which is kind of cool. And so yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys, just in case anybody. Yep, loud and clear. We wanted to make sure that if anybody actually is going. Let us know. We'd love to meet up with you. And if not, don't worry. We're going to be bringing you all the coverage that we can from the convention. And I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah,
I hope,
Chris.
Did you fall down? I hope you didn't fall down because it sounded like you took a header.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
I'm just
All right,
noisy, I
very
guess.
good.
Actually,
Yeah,
I
you
put
were
my.
very noisy.
That was probably good.
That's what it was. Yeah. Yes.
My beer.
Thanks for doing that and blowing everybody's eardrums.
There you
Not
go.
once, but multiple times. Yeah, gotcha. Thanks. Okay, so hey, by the way, you have last week's comic.
Yes, I have last week's comics, so we'll kind of review that one first.
Yes.
Just to remember
And
what
then-
happened last week, in case
Right.
you didn't join us last week.
Oh,
You should have
stop
been
screaming.
here.
Stop
Oh,
screaming.
Am I still too loud again? Let me turn me down
Yeah,
then.
you're too loud. Yeah.
That's the
turn it down
headphone.
because yeah,
Where's the
you're being
gain?
obnoxious.
The gain is right. All right. One of these two is the gain.
Yeah, you got to do something about that.
There we
because
go. How's that?
It's a little bit loud. Yeah. Okay.
Better?
Cool. Much better.
Better?
Yes. Thanks. Yeah,
Better?
That's good.
Better?
That's good.
Is
That's
it
good. That's
Is
good.
it good?
That's
Better?
good. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I do have a shot glass. I got.
Oh
from
my God!
Comic-Con.
Stop screaming.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm excited. The hell is it still too loud?
No, but you lost it there for one split second. What is that?
That's my shot glass. You didn't see me get
From
that,
where?
did you? I got it
No,
from
where did you get that
Comic-Con.
from? It'd be nice
on,
if I could if it
focus.
focused. Where did you get that?
There we go.
Oh, New York Comic Con alumni. Busted. Look at you. One convention, little shot glass. Nice.
That's right. All right. So,
All right, so go ahead. This is the last
last
week's.
week was season
recap.
3. We started season, number 1, and of
Yeah.
course it was No Place Like Home, and we went through it, and it was you know some they're kind of bored. Things are happening. Remember Baltar from the season 1 or season 2? I whatever the Realm Press was. They don't really call it season 2. They just call it Battlestar Galactica. But remember Baltar was blown up. They didn't know who was in the shuttle. Turned out to be Baltar. He gets captured, and he's captured by these strange people. It happens to be Cylon's enemies. We'll talk more about that today. And then
Please.
some of the things that were stuck to the Viper when they landed, they decontaminated the people, but they didn't decontaminate the Viper, and they got little spider-like creatures on the inside of the Viper, inside of there. Council had some problems, said, hey, we want to stop at this cool planet. And, of course, just like every single time, what is up with the Council? I mean, come on, guys. Why?
It's the council, man.
Why?
That's their true nature.
Yeah,
True
why?
nature.
We just want to live in peace with the Cylons. And I tell you right now, we want to
shut
kill
up.
you. That's all there is to it.
Dummies.
And then we got some.
Oh, boy.
So we
Oh,
had
my
a
God.
date with. This is important here because we had a date with Starbuck and Athena, and I'll show you
yeah.
the Athena again.
Yeah.
Athena.
Okay. Calm down.
Athena.
Oh, boy. Stop it.
And then, of course, they're kind of like, hey, we're going to stop at this planet. So that's kind of was the last week. All right, so now let's get into this week. This is probably going to be my favorite. So there's this.
come on.
There's 2 different covers for this one.
Oh, yeah.
There's this
80s.
cover, which has the bad people, and then we have
80s
this
Hath
cover.
No Fury. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah,
That's
that's my
nice.
favorite cover. Yeah.
That's a good one. And that's Sheba,
What? That's not Sheba.
No, the good-looking one on the right, that's Sheba.
I only see one. The good-looking one in the middle.
That's Athena. All right. Calm down.
Athena, if you're out there, call
Yes. Okay, so this is Hades Hath No
Yes.
Fury.
Hades Hath No Fury. Love the way these things start out. They always start out with, just like the regular show does, with the Galactica flying through and the name of the episode. Covered by...
by-
Chris. Yep, go ahead.
Written by James Skohurik. Go ahead.
illustrated by Robert Scott. Lettering was Mark Haynes. Edited by Mr. Vaughn, which we'll be talking
Oh
to him.
yeah, going to be on a show.
Cover was by Chris Scalf.
Chris Scalf.
And then some of the other artwork is inside of here is Chris Scalf also. All right.
Dan Parsons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great. I love the the graphics in these are just amazing. This is a really great picture here. I love they really did a good job on the shuttle.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's cool.
Really did a good job on the shuttle and everything else. So this is them investigating the planet, and the planet's really full of it's like jungle. But
jungle world.
Yeah, but they found a place for them to land, and they're going to set up camp there. And of course, here's the council saying, you know what, we're going to set up camp there. And and this is when they drop the bomb. They're like, and Adama's like, hey, they found some weird engravings there, probably from the people who were there beforehand. Told them to stay away from them, be careful. And the council's like, no, we need to investigate those more. And as a matter of fact, we as the council demand to go down there.
Oh boy,
you guys are idiots. It's not even secure.
Yeah, they are. You know what it is? They just want to get off the ship. They're like, oh, let's get down to the planet.
Oh, I think they want the fame and fortune. Look, what we're doing for you people. You need to hire, need to everything else. So, and of course, here's Adama, and of course he's here's the thing. I'll let you read it, so that way you don't have to.
They are fools. They will not be satisfied until they have doomed the entire fleet with their follies. Right?
Who knows?
Oh, look at the bottom.
Yeah,
the bottom picture.
Right. So the bottom picture, they move from this storyline to a new storyline. This one blew me away. This storyline was this part of the storyline got goosebumps for me, because they're investigating a planet, and on the planet they find, you ready? The remains of one Viper and 4 Cylons.
Oh boy.
It's Starbuck, man. It's Starbuck's planet.
Oh boy, look at that.
It's Starbuck's planet.
So sweet. So sweet.
Talk about a tease, because that's pretty much all they tell you about it, and they switch it.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So they go to so they go back, and remember, Baltar was captured by some aliens. These aliens are now more introduced in here, and they have this huge ship. And come to find out, these aliens are they're like the Borg. So they have a tendency to overtake other species, and they're like, well, we should overtake this guy. He says, no, we've read his mind. They're talking about Baltar. And he's going to be helpful. He's going to help us find these humans and these Cylons. So they're looking to assimilate the humans and Cylons. And Cylons later on we'll talk more about that. So back to the planet. Yeah. And Apollo and Boomer and Starbuck are all working hard to build like the first inhabitant shelters there. And they're being overwatched by the blue shirts.
Oh, boy.
The blue shirts aren't doing anything. And then I love it because Apollo makes fun of them. Because Apollo's like, see that?
Is that the new black shirts?
Yeah, they're blue-black. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Apollo's like, these guys or whatever else. And then, he takes this thing from Boomer, and it tells him how to make the, what steps they're supposed to do, clear land, do the, but Apollo, I think it's funny in the book. Apollo draws a character of the blue shirts.
That's a great likeness of Boomer, though. Boomer's just looking at it. It looks good, man. It looks like Herb Jefferson. That's really cool.
So they're making fun of the blue shirts. So he made a caricature on it. So, anyways, they're building this area and everything else, and that's pretty good. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Back to the Galactica. Good part.
All
so
right.
Let's
do it.
Cassie's talking with somebody who came in for a problem, and she's like, "Oh, did you and Starbucks have a good time last night?" Alarm bell.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I saw
boy.
him. I saw him with flowers and
Ambrosia.
and then of course she's like, "No, we didn't have a date last night." And she's, "Oh, I saw him with all this stuff." And of course, here she is. He's like, "I won't yell, but it's Starbuck." So
Oh,
she
boy.
she storms out
Oh,
and she heads to the bridge where she finds Athena
uh-oh.
and Sheba are there too. And she walks up to him, and then here we go. It's catfight time.
Smack in the face.
So it's catfight time, and she's like, "Hey, Athena, come here." And it's like, "How could you? You know, and he and I were getting closer." And of course, catfight, right there.
Oh, look at Sheba, man. That's a really great likeness, man. That's
This
her right there.
Sheba is amazing.
Oh yeah.
This picture of Sheba is
Oh yeah.
amazing. I think that's the best comic picture I've seen of Sheba.
That's great.
It's what a great picture.
Oh
So,
boy. Turn the
cat fight.
page because some bad happens.
Cat fight. So there's the cat fight going on, and Cassie walks away, and of course Colonel Ty this whole time is like, I'm just going to be over here. You can almost hear Colonel Ty in some of these things. So, yep, change over. We're back to the Borgish. What do they call themselves? I can't remember. I love the way they do this. They kind of have a narration with the Cylon. So the Cylon has
In Cylon voice.
in Cylon voice there. Hey, we're checking this out. And Imperious
Ancient
leaders.
enemy.
Yeah, Imperious leaders like, what? It's the ancient enemy. Get closer. I got to make sure it's them. It's them.
No.
Oh, we got to kill them. And they start to kill them. But you damn colonials.
Lucifer.
Yep. You damn colonials show up after we're ready, right after we're ready to destroy these people because they are our ancient enemies. Vipers show up and prevent us from killing them. You darn
Nice.
colonials.
Nice. Wow, there's some really cool pictures of the
Yeah.
Raiders, man. And there's like a gold Cylon, a command Cylon in one of them.
Yes. Yeah, he's coming
Oh
up.
wow. That's
So
cool.
they save, and they're like, oh my gosh. The last part of this before they switch over is just hold on a micron. The computer has identified the technology used in that ship. And it says, right there.
Dear God, it's
And we don't find out.
come on.
Back to the building the area down
The world,
down
the barracks
course.
and all that.
And who's sloughing off is Starbuck. Starbuck's sloughing off.
Yeah.
So, and then Apollo's like, I think I'm going to kick his ass, kind of thing. And that goes on there. And then suddenly one of the black shirts gets taken. Nobody knows where he's gone. He's missing.
It's gone. See ya.
So
Goodbye.
back to the ship, back to Baltar. Baltar's like, they're kind of using him, but he doesn't know it yet. And they're like, this is he's finally realized where he's at, and they're like, oh, we're using our the telepathic ability to talk to you. He says, I will no longer play the role of pawn. I will rule the universe as king. So they're like, oh, we're going to help you. They're kind of saying, help us. So they're just tricking him into leading him to the humans and the Cylons. But he's under the impression, of course, once again, just like he was before, they're always tricking him. Awesome pictures. Here we go. So back to the
Base
Cylons,
stars.
the base stars, and a
Command
really
Cylon.
nice gold Cylon.
Nice.
Really nice. And of course, here you go. It's a Borg / Lucifer.
No way. Look at that. Look at it. He's got like multiple arms.
Yep.
What? What is going on?
That's kind of
That's crazy.
And then of course then they
Shut 'em
switch
down.
back to the Galactica, and we've got the spiders again. I hate those spiders.
I hate spiders.
Yeah. So they're starting to move in, and we switch back to the council. Council's going to come down and see everybody. Council starts to set up their hey everybody, look at us, look what we've done for you. One of the first things that they required that the colonial warriors put together was a stage.
Of
Imagine
course.
that.
Yeah, stage. Well, a lot of people went down. Look at that.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people.
And then,
wow.
But we are finally, and the bet now is they're trying to get rid of Adama. So
Of course
that goes there. And
boy.
then they're making the speech, and then
Oh no.
the things attack.
Yeah, they look like demons, man. They're nasty. Whew.
And they're on the bridge. They're watching this, and he's like, "My son," and he's not sure what happened to Apollo. This is the video feed, and ta-da! You gotta wait till next week.
Oh boy.
So next week is guess who's coming to dinner.
Well, check it out. Well, did on the road with Realm?
Yeah, I read through
the
this.
Dragon Con.
Yep. So they're actually talking about Dragon Con and how they met with. They watched the trailer for the Second Coming there.
Oh boy. And there they are. It says publisher Mark Haynes and writer Jim Cohuric return,
Yep.
and they're in the picture.
Yep.
And there's Jack Stauffer,
Yep.
and there's, jeez, look at them.
So
Talk
this
about
is what
fans.
so every Dragon Con we go to, we do a group photo. So this is probably the group photo from back then. But we do a group photo with all of the Battlestar people. Most of the Battlestar people now are new series, but we still have some old series people. So
That's a really cool picture, man.
We always do a group photo.
That's a really cool picture.
And the other thing I saw was, so this is a little more information, and then this ticked me off a little bit because this is the one that was never made. So they have, the new millennium. I have this one. We'll talk about that one later. But season 3, number 5.
Never made. Never made.
Never made.
Jim's the one in the middle. Oh boy.
Is he?
So there's a picture of him.
Yeah.
If you turn the page,
Which one? This one?
Yeah, turn the page, and on that, no, there's one. Turn the page one more. There's an actual. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, are you talking about this one?
Yeah. Right, somewhere in there is. That's some of the guys,
Yeah.
That's some of them. So, that's really interesting.
At Dragon Con. Clockwise, it's Jack Stauffer with his arm around Tony Hamdel as the Cylon. David, squad leader Zaritsky, Steve Rowler, Steve Flattop
Bollinger,
Hamdel,
Dan Bollinger.
Dan Bollinger, yep.
Dan Bollinger, holy
And
mackerel.
Al Dellaccia.
Galactica, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, right?
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
And then there's the back page.
Wow. That's actually isn't that like a variant cover?
That's a variant cover for number 1.
Wow. So that's a really good comic book. Oh yeah. So if we look out, guys, we have, like we've told you, we got Jeff Vaughn, November 18th, and if we're really, really lucky, he may have some extra special guests. So we shall see. We'll see. Hopefully we'll see. Either way, we'll be lucky. We get Jeff Vaughn to come on, and that's really cool. And let's see. You said there was someone, Dan Bollinger. Well, we're gonna have Evan on. We'll see. Maybe they're related. I would imagine they probably are. So we'll find out. Stands to reason that they are. But anyway, a lot of fun. We get a chance to see these comic books. The Realm, they're not extremely rare. They're just rare. So they're kind of hard to get, guys. I don't know how many. I'm sure a bunch of you guys have them. We just thought it was a great idea to just kind of like quickly go through those.
I'm back.
You're back. It's cool. All right. Well, bring yourself
they're
back
not
up.
that hard to find. The variants are a little bit more challenging.
The variants are, but you know, it's cool stuff, man. We like Realm. We like you know, the Realm are really cool.
Like I said, that's got to be one of my. It's going to be one of my favorite comics because the Sheba drawing in there is just wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it's cool stuff, man.
That almost looks like a photo. And then of course, it's the cat fight thing that's kind of cool. The storyline is really neat. It does have a number of. It jumps around quite a bit, so. But I think it's a really fun. It's a fun story so far. I love this thing.
It is. It's really cool.
One.
So that leaves us with the Cylon Death Machine, Chris. We are
That's
on
right.
chapter 26. Chapter 26. That's right. Sounds like it's a great name for an outstanding heavy metal band.
Yep.
And someday,
Probably a country band.
yeah, right, a folkish. But yeah, so I told you guys we are, we're gunning for Fan Expo in Denver. And we got the panel, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And we shared a bunch of stuff. Keep watching for more videos on the New York Comic Con because we have more stuff we filmed for you. Really cool things going on. And there may have been one other artist, right, Chris? There may have been another artist at New York Comic Con that was involved in the original Battlestar Galactica Marvel series. That we did not. He's going to be at Denver, so we're going to approach him and speak to him.
Yeah.
So we're working on trying to get as much of the round up as much of the older stuff, the classic as we can. So yeah.
Wow,
So you ready?
That was a really good beer. I think
it is a good beer
so far.
Yeah, it is. It has it's dark. It has a deep dark chocolate taste. So it's if you like that, it's very good. So this
ready?
This chapter is
wait.
Go.
Book versus episode.
Now we can go.
Now we can go. I just never know if that button is working or not.
It works.
But it works.
Depends on the day.
Yes. Yes, it does. Excellent.
Depends
Thank
on
you.
if you colonials have bushwhacked it, booby trapped it.
Yes,
just like
that's
you
the whole
did
point.
in this chapter where you booby trapped the actually, yeah, okay. I still think it was just human error. The thing blew up on its own. Poor design by humans.
It's set. Soul Knight Charge is set. Courtesy of Mediocre Modeler. Thank you. So I got mine, and if I had a remote, I would just turn yours on and see what would happen. But I can only turn this one on.
That's right.
Yeah.
So back to
chapter 26.
Let's go back a chapter a little bit so we can talk about kind of a review real quick.
Okay. Yes.
Last chapter, Lita was killed.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, she dies. And then go ahead.
Croft is just
he's
like
heartbroken.
He's kind of like in shock a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the main piece was last time. Don't forget, in previous chapters, Boxy is hiding in one of the Cylon raiders. Come on, you know where
him and the kids.
Yeah,
and
you know where that's going.
You know where that's going.
Come on,
you just don't like it.
You don't know where that's not going. You
have to hating, man.
You know,
stop the hate. You just don't like colonials. Anyway, so chapter 26 opens with none other than.
Huh? Oh, talking to me. So
no,
Athena,
I was talking to everybody,
baby.
but you too. Yes,
baby Athena.
That's right. Yes, the first word. The first word is Athena. Yes.
Hey, baby, come on.
All right. Enough.
So yeah,
yes,
that's the kind of the scene that was on the bridge. It's this one's brought out a little bit more, but it is similar to the show. This scene is where they celebrate because it's just part of it.
Just this.
Yep. So this is where the the human designed gun backfires because it was humanly designed, not because it was but not because it was booby trapped. And it blows up. Yeah, it's not true. You have your narrative, I have mine.
Oh, you have the Cylon narrative. All right, I'm gonna stick to the book.
The Cylon narrative is it was a faulty human design. That's what I would if I were Volpa and the thing blew up and I have to report it. It would have been.
Yeah, it'd be all humans. Yeah,
it would have been. You know what? Humans. Come on, crappy design.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like the Death Star.
Organics.
Crappy design. They got an opening. It blew up.
Right.
This is exactly what happened with this.
Right. But
anyways,
here,
go ahead.
Here, in the world that we're talking about in terms of the book, which is now different than
piece of literature.
Yes, propaganda, right? It's propaganda.
Yep.
Yeah. So the pulsaric weapon is now they're watching it. Athena says, she sees the barrel of the cannon turn bright red, then white, just before the whole emplacement exploded outward, which is in the show, right? It's in the episode.
Yeah, I don't think it's that graphic, but yeah, it was.
No, it's not that graphic. It's not that graphic.
You don't get to see the glowing explosion.
Yeah, that was too bad. But
Dykstra didn't do that.
Yeah, nope.
There probably wasn't
no money for that. Yeah,
but so that blows up, and then of course they do all of the, it's the same actual, they did it kind of thing. They did what's the right exact words? They've done it. That's it. Adama, he does that in the show. You get the same exact same wording, and then send down a rescue unit with a full fighter escort, which if you would have just sent it down earlier, you could have had a whole fighter group take on the thing. I get it. They shoot down one Viper. It's like,
oh, stop it,
chicken.
But do you get it when they said that?
Yeah.
Send down a rescue unit with full fighter escort.
Right.
And then you forgot to say,
flying.
Athena can pilot the rescue ship. I'm sure she'd enjoy that. Not in the episode. Right?
That's right.
Very cool.
Because her boyfriend is down there.
That's right. Very cool that in the book, she can do more
known
than
as
just...
Chris, the Gypsy Toaster, was on scene at the time. And she needed to get down to see him.
Okay, back to the book. So now, right, we then introduce Volpa again.
Yeah, so here's Volpa. And remember, Volpa's supposed to be the bad guy throughout the whole series.
Yeah.
And so he's nearing the headquarters when it blows up. And Volpa's like, oh, boy. There's a lot of things in here that definitely go back to the non-robotic piece. There's feelings.
Yeah.
He has feelings.
Yeah.
He
gets wounded.
He gets wounded. He's there's a lot of different non-mechanical type things in here. If you have feelings and he crash lands the ship and he scrambles out of the thing because it could blow up.
Right.
Whereas, that's fear. So that's not another mechanical thing. So and he's injured. He feels pain.
Yes. Right. And he says he wanted to run wild with rage.
Yes.
Running wild was a rarity among Cylons, but not unknown.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's what happens when you go into a rage. It's like a Volpa Cylon rage.
I almost did that at work today. Running down the hallways.
So he's coming to terms with the fact that so Volpa's like, I'm probably not going to become Imperia's leader, and I'm not going to be able to go back.
Yeah, he's like, my world is over. I hate these
and this is obviously not in the show, right? Not in the episode. And he says, At the end of this paragraph, Chris, he says his life had become as useless as a street poet's on the home
Right.
planets of the Alliance.
So they had actually mentioned street poets in another chapter, if you don't remember.
Yeah.
So Cylon street poets, it's interesting. I don't know what
Don't be a street poet.
Yeah. They're useless people.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't
be a
you don't
street
want to
poet.
grow up to be a street poet because you're
Oh,
going to
Dad, I want to be a street poet. Oh, you're
Get out of the
grow up
house.
to be a real centurion. No Cylon wants to be a street poet.
get out
What
of
the hell
house.
is your problem?
Yeah,
You
get
see
out of
that
house,
now.
poet. Shh. Get
As
out.
a hatchling, I wanted to be a street poet.
Yeah, no good. Garbage.
Yep.
So
Go ahead.
no, there was a couple of other. This is the rest of this whole paragraph. Inside the command post. All that stuff. You want to talk about that because that's not in the episode. And then I
Right.
found something very interesting a couple paragraphs down that I wanted to mention.
It's just the command post is smoldering wreckage. He sits down. Well, he tries to communicate with the Imperious leader, which, with me, first of all, it's not his fault because remember in previous chapters, he said that they did not send out enough people. He had requested more people, more centurions to guard the emplacement, but was always denied. So he was understaffed.
Yes.
So
Right.
I'll use that as an excuse of why the colonials were successful.
Yeah.
That and that poor design on the gun to begin with. So he's he goes to the chair. He tries to call the Imperious leader. Why? Like once again, I would not. Something you don't do when you fail is call your boss and go, "Hey, I failed."
They gotta make excuses.
Make excuses. Like I said, it wasn't his fault. It was the human's design that blew up. It just got hot because we were shooting it so much. Boom!
Yeah, it got blown and it blew up. Yeah, it
blew
blew
up
up.
the top and took out half the people that were here with me.
Yeah, no good.
That would be my that would be my excuse. Not my fault. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Poor
boy.
design. But
Yeah.
so he tries to get a hold of them. He sits down in his chair. He can't use the communicator there to talk to the Imperious leader. So he goes into a trance that his second brain lets him do.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Meditative factors.
Meditative factors. There's another thing that I found extremely interesting was that pressing a control panel plate so that the imprint of the glove on his right hand was recognized by the scanning equipment. He brought the fuel activation level to full power.
Right. So
that there's
each glove has got his fingerprint on it, kind of deal.
It's got to have something, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because it's scanning equipment. It recognized, right, his right hand glove recognized by scanning equipment.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Not in the episode.
Yep. And plus not in the episode is the actual landing craft coming down to help to pick everybody up. At which point Volpa goes to the airstrip, gets into a Viper, and remember we had remote control not Viper, sorry.
Raiders.
He had remote control raiders that were drones in the previous thing where they're full of selenite, explode when they hit things. So that's, they had one control ship and five or four. I think it's 5.
5, I
drones.
think. Yeah, something like that.
So
Yeah,
he
drones.
takes off. He starts to take off. He cranks up the ships, and he's bound and determined to take out these people that are coming down to rescue him. And if we remember in a couple of chapters before, Boxy and the children, as well as our hero, Muffet,
that's right,
is inside one of the drone ships, and Muffet and Boxy's asleep. And of course, what do you think is? Come on, this is the after-school special part of this. What do you think is going to happen, everybody? All the kids get out.
They didn't get out yet.
Yeah.
Just calm down yet.
All right.
There's a little bit more
I'll
to
let you go
the
then.
story. because you
you lead
just
up to
jumped
the
ahead.
after school story.
In your
Chris.
anger, you jumped ahead a little
Don't
bit too
make
much.
me run around in rage, damn it.
Maybe I do. That would be a great sight to see you enraged and breaking your Cylon Centurion helmet as you scream. So right, so that's Vulpa, right? The whole idea of what you said is playing out, which is obviously different than the episode itself or what we see in the show. Boomer and Starbuck and Apollo, right? They all meet up, and Starbuck calls over Kree. And what I found interesting in that moment, which obviously is not in the show, is that Kree is gaunt, and he's kind of like a broken person at this point. But he weakly saluted Apollo, who returned the courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
So they established the fact that there are salutes. I mean, it's a military organization, and they do have a way of recognizing each other. And we do get this. Yeah, we see that in that episode with Kronos. They do their salute, right? I think they grab their shoulder.
Yeah.
Right.
And they also have the three-way handshake thing going on.
The three, yeah. So then Starbuck tells him to go do something, and he does, and
but he says
they
says you're in for a medal.
Yeah.
All right, wait a minute.
He didn't get it. He's out of it.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm going to give a medal.
Yeah.
To the guy who disobeyed my orders, got shot down, got stuck in a cell. This
was
kid
interrogated.
Is interrogated.
No, he's getting. Yeah, but he's getting it's like getting a POW medal, right? He didn't give up any secrets.
All right,
he's getting a POW medal.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, but
yeah,
really,
but that's what it is
for bravery or anything. No.
Yeah, it's like a POW medal, man. How many? Wait a minute. How many of anyone ever survives a Cylon POW camp? Nobody. You're not meant to.
Right.
So that's what that's about. Come on, man. Jeez.
But he wouldn't be there if he wouldn't have disobeyed orders.
Doesn't matter. He was taken into. Stop it, Cylon. Oh boy, and you get me all caught up in it. Anyway, so
make you run around enraged.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're gonna do. So then they reach out to Ravishol, and they establish that things are under control. Planet side, right? And there was a thing here that Ravishol says. My clones have been conducting a celebration in the main hall.
Here, let me turn the TV on. You can watch.
Yeah. He's got, surveillance, closed circuit TV on everybody. He could show everybody.
By the way, here's another channel.
Yeah, right. No, there is, you would think, but there isn't, because he didn't know that his clones are actually having babies. So that was all off the radar.
And he's like, hey, they're celebrating, and emotion is something different to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then there's a whole issue with what happened to the kids. They finally realize, oh my God, the kids are missing. And they said that, the kids ran into, they may have run into a Cylon ship, and so they can't shoot them down or whatever.
Right.
So there's an issue with that, and then there was a mention of, we're going to hotwire a Cylon ship and go off looking for them.
But this is after they say, hey, all the kids got out except for Boxy.
Right.
The after school special piece has to be in there.
The Daggett that's in, right? Boxy had awakened briefly by the sound of loud explosions.
Right.
And so he obviously fell asleep, and he says, we better get out of here to the Daggett. And the Muffet is able to get out of the ship.
And Muffet leaves him behind. Muffet's like, yeah, later, buddy.
Yeah, see ya. And by the time Boxy can get to the door slides shut, and he's stuck in the ghost ship.
This Daggett's surviving.
Yeah, he's gonna save him. Don't worry. Athena steadied the rescue shuttle just below the cloud cover, and ordered a crewman to establish contact with the expedition. And that's when your little ships take off.
Right. Mediocre modeler's got a good point here, though.
Go ahead.
How'd they hide the pregnant ones?
Who knows, man? We don't see. Ultimately, we don't know how many clones there were. There were probably
Maybe they were hidden
thousands of
behind
clones.
the little bookshelf thing again.
Well, yeah, it had to have had a place where they were birthing, and they all look the same, and there's probably thousands of them. There had to have been, right? I mean, it's a giant, like, chunk of that planet, right? So
It was Ravishal watching the copulation, huh? On his
Ravishal didn't even know what was going on.
Super secret TV stuff.
Yeah, creep. He didn't know any of that. He didn't care. Dude, he didn't care. All he cared about was creating the stuff that he was working on, man. So much for that guy. But five of the Cylon ships take off, right?
They
take off.
Right? Is it 5 plus 1 or 4 plus
5 of the, I think it's 5 plus Vulpas.
Right. So
I think it says
1.
5 of the Cylon ships on the airfield below lifted off simultaneously.
Yep.
Indicated a lone Cylon.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is it 6 or is it 5?
It's 5. I think it's 5. Four of the things, because they start talking about the attack and how they shoot down one before it hits there, and then they have another one that actually takes out some Vipers. Yay! Good job, guys.
Yeah, bunch of some of the Vipers got I think two Vipers were destroyed, and then they realized they got to stop.
And then they finally realized, oh, by the way, Boxy could be on one of those ships. And Athena's like, oh my god, I probably killed him already. Yeah. Imagine the heart sinking at that point. Like, so now they're like, we can't stop shooting these things. All right, you guys stop shooting at the Cylons.
Right, but none of this is in the show.
No, none of this. This would have been interesting in the show. It would have been an after school special piece of it. It's not total after school special like Galactica 1980, but it's definitely an after school kid part of the show to get the kids involved. Yeah. Just like Prodigy is now. So hey kids, watch the show. Come on,
But that's it. So now it ends on a cliffhanger.
Yep.
And they can't shoot any more of the Raiders down, and there's one coming at them, and that's how the chapter ends. And so
one of them is coming right at us.
That's it. Then it stops.
That's it. And you gotta wait till next week to figure out what's going on.
Gotta wait till next week for chapter 27.
Or you can read ahead, but don't do that.
No, you can if you want, but yeah, we're not going to cover it. But so then there's only a few left, right? It goes to 7.
We're getting real close.
8. Yeah, there's actually 30.
Only that much left.
7, 8, 9, 10, but they're very, very short.
Yep.
Good stuff. So guys,
it's Molokai, Battle of Molokai.
Battle of Molokai. Yeah, we're gonna have a really good time with that. I never read it. So Chris gave me a copy a long time ago, and I didn't read it. And now we're going to read it all together. So I think we're going to have a great time with it. So thanks for joining us live, and everybody else that's watching this in rerun and syndication. Thanks for tuning in. Right, we just finished the chapter on the Cylon Death Machine, right? Because we were doing a comparison between what's in here and what was broadcast in the episode.
It's really big time difference, because now like I said, there's only one person left alive of the Dirty Dozen.
And that's chapter 26.
They did say in the book 26. That to go get what's his name who was wounded.
Kree?
No, not Kree. They
mentioned Halls. I think it is.
Yeah, Halls.
Is it Halls? I think it's Halls. To go get him and anybody else. Yeah. So they're coming to get everybody else, but they don't get the clones. The clones all stay. None of the clones come with them, that would be kind of cool. Sir 5-9, one of them, and one of the from the Theta classes or whatever. But didn't happen.
Poor Starbuck.
Oh well.
You could. I lost one, but I lost 3.
Yeah. Well, everybody, that brings us to a close.
Yep.
Right. So we stay tuned for more videos from New York Comic Con.
Yep. I'm working on them little by little.
Yep. Well, little by little, we're going to get all those out. And
we did
next
a crap
week,
load of interviews. So
Oh yeah. So next week today, for the record, is the 14th. So
Who's next
we
week?
definitely um, we're gonna figure out what who's coming on, and we'll get back to you. We had to do some reshuffling because of the timing. We were supposed to have some guests from overseas, and the time issues. So we'll
That's
let you
right.
know. Yeah, so we'll let you know. We're gonna have an artist from one of the comic books, one of the Galactica comic books, but we're gonna work. We're gonna try to work around that. Otherwise, we have a whole bunch of other things to go over, and we're gonna have a good show nonetheless.
You always
And
have a good time.
I always have a good time. But yeah, New York Comic Con was really good. We have another convention coming up, which is at the end of the month. We said it's Fan Expo at Denver,
Yep.
and we're going to be there. And then whatever else comes up, there might be some other surprises here and there. Love to hear from you. Info at interfleetbroadcasting.com, right? So,
Yep.
make sure that you send us, you know how to get in touch with us, but just in
There you
case
go.
if you want to,
There we go.
right? Yep. So there's Facebook, and there's Twitters, and YouTube. We have Instagram.
Yep.
Don't
Instagram's
forget
got
to
actually blown
like.
up a little bit lately.
Yeah. Sci-fiction sharing with appreciation. Thank you, Owen.
Yeah. Owen.
Owen will be back. We're gonna have Owen on the show again. When he's ready, he's gonna have a whole bunch of things to announce. So we're looking forward to having him back on the show. He was in touch with us just a little while ago. So that's good to know and good to hear. So yeah, there's things developing, and thanks for tuning in,
Yeah.
everyone. Chris.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget the Tales from the Elastic Limit. Those things was good books. Check them out. Mr. Loring's books, have them. Go there. They're cheap. Why not check one out? I think I'm definitely gonna probably end up buying one. It's gonna take me a while to read it because I'm so busy, but I normally do audiobooks, but I'll definitely since the short story thing, I can do that one. So I'm gonna probably grab the short story one and do
Oh
that.
yeah, I already got it. I have it.
Don't forget to reach out for him, and then think about that world that he talked about was kind of crazy. So the time travel and everything else. We
Oh
really
yeah.
appreciate you being here. We want to shout out to all of the people who are out there live, and thank you for every week that some of you people come in every single week, and we really do appreciate that. You are very valuable to us, and of course, we'll try to give you more information and more interviews and more information from the cons, and we will definitely reach out to Carl. I got to get a hold of Carl. I'm going to reach out to him in regards to getting him on sometime, and then a couple other people coming. So we got some really great things going on. We'll be going at I'm trying to get to the Denver Con. Pete's definitely going. I'm either going virtually because we have a panel, or I'm going live. So I haven't figured that one out yet. So I gotta wait.
We're gonna make it work either way.
I gotta weigh it. Yeah. So
yeah.
But anyways, you guys are invaluable. You're invaluable to us. We thank you for being here, and of course, fans fuel the fleet. And we will see you the next time we circle back around the Earth area to pick you back up next week, Thursday. That's usually what time we circle around.
That's right.
Here we go. Fans fuel the fleet. Thank you for coming, and y'all take care for the rest of the week and stay healthy.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay healthy and stay safe. Take care for now.